Hey Resurrection Gig Harbor family, Drew coming to you again with another church plant update. Right now we are just a couple weeks away from our August core group gathering. I hope you're as excited for that gathering as I am. The link for the potluck sign up and some other information about that gathering is in the email that this video was embedded in, and so please go ahead and take a moment to sign up for the potluck as well. There's a survey in the email kind of just listing out the different opportunities to serve as we get closer to gathering together on a weekly basis. And so if you have a moment, take some time to look at that survey and just select the areas that you'd be interested in serving in so that we start to have an idea of who might be on which teams and start to get some of those things figured out. I wanted to talk with you guys today just briefly about the fundraiser that we're doing. You know, I shared a few weeks ago that I thought we were at about like $9,000. That's what we've taken in through our GoFundMe so far, and I was celebrating and praising God for that. And then I got some updated numbers and found out that over $34,000 had come in directly to the church so far this year. So rather than like pushing 9,000, we're pushing $45,000 that the Lord has provided for this Gig Harbor church plant, which is amazing. And it's about 30% of our goal of $150,000. And the goal is to raise that by the end of 2021, by the end of this year. So we just have about 5 months or so left to hit that goal. And as I've been thinking about that, and as I was kind of praying, as we've been praying at 625 all together through Matthew 625 to 34, I've been praying for the Lord's provision in our fundraiser, and I just kind of raised my eyes on the page in Matthew chapter 6, and I realized that right before Jesus talks about not being anxious, about the Lord's provision for the birds and the flowers and how much more valuable are we than they, right before Jesus talks about that, he says this: "Do not accumulate for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and devouring insect destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But accumulate for yourself treasures in heaven, where moth and devouring insect do not destroy and thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, your heart will be also." I thought it was so interesting that Jesus moves really, really fluidly from talking about laying up treasures in heaven and not overvaluing our treasures here on earth, directly into depending on God, not being anxious, but rather relying on God for our provision. And it struck me just how interconnected those two things are. As we're thinking about the fundraiser, I want to invite you away from any sort of idea of earning your place in the church plant, so you have to give a certain amount. That's not why we're doing a fundraiser. It's not an opportunity to prove how much we value the church or love Jesus. It's not an opportunity for us to show off our earthly treasures and try to give ourselves as much of a leg up as we can. We're fundraising. We're asking people who love Jesus who might not even be part of Resurrection Church. We're asking you who are giving your time and your talents to the church plant to also give your treasure, because it's good for us. Because it's actually an issue of discipleship. Jesus says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be. So as we place our treasures in kingdom things, as we give back to God a portion of what is already His, it's not our money, it's His, what we're doing is we're actually gaining a little bit more footing in the kingdom of heaven, in the kingdom of God. Not that we're earning it, but rather we're exercising it. We're living it out. And the more we live out that life of discipleship, that resurrection life, the more naturally it comes. The more we find that our heart is planted there as well. So whether you've already given, and if you have, I want to say thank you very much for your generosity. The Lord is providing through His people. Or whether you haven't given yet and you're not sure how to participate, I want to invite you to see the church plant fundraiser through the lens of a discipleship opportunity. As you discuss with your family or your friends how much you might like to give together as an act of worship, that's a discipleship opportunity for that friend group or that family unit. As you talk with your spouse, that's a discipleship opportunity for you together to be united as you trust Jesus to continue providing. And so that's my invitation. See giving and fundraising as an opportunity for discipleship, an opportunity to place your treasure where you want your heart to be, and that is in the kingdom of God. See y'all soon.